Hello everyone. Sorry. Well, first of all, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year, since I didn't see you since last November. On the visa, there has been some change within the immigration, but it has more to do with their internal process. So everything is a bit slower now because they changed the head of immigration, and every time there is a new guy, there is also a new process. But overall, the way to get the visa are still the same. So for retirement, it's either the bank account, the money in the bank or the income, or the letter from the embassy, the income letter, if your embassy is still delivering this. Now, for the change of visas, I know many of you are looking to eventually change your visas, especially if you have the OA visa that requires the insurance. So if you are lucky, I guess, and you are married to a Thai, there is the possibility to change the visa inside Thailand to become an O visa without having to leave the country. But that's nearly the only one that you can change within the country. If you are still planning to get a retirement visa and change it, you will have to get out of the country, return as a tourist, and then reapply for the retirement visa. At the moment, you can still re-enter without any tourist visa for 45 days. For the moment, it's still until the 31st of March. I think they were talking about extending this a bit longer, but it's not been approved yet, so we'll see. But until the 31st of March, anyone that has like a, let's say, Western passport, like America, Canada, European, you just come in, whether by land crossing, by flight, whatever you want, and you get 45 days when you come in, that you can extend for another 30 days. So that gives plenty of time to then reapply for your retirement visa if you want to, and there will be no problem. So you can see your visa agent, either us or any visa agent you want, and they will help you for that process. The only difficulties with that is if you have an American, UK, Australian, and I think Denmark as well, if you were using the monthly income and your embassy doesn't deliver the income verification letter, it's going to be a bit of a problem, because for the first time application after you return from outside the country, the only way you can reapply for the visa is to put the 800,000 back in the bank. So if that's the method you use, it's a bit more complicated, because you are allowed to use that method to renew the visa every year, but for new applicants, it's a bit more complicated. So I know online you can find many different information. Just keep in mind that everybody, like all the forums online about immigrations, about visas, some people are doing their visas in Phuket or in Bangkok or other places and automatically assume that that's the same rule applies for everyone everywhere, but it's not. In Chiang Mai, they have a way to do things. In Phuket, they have a different way, and things that are possible in Phuket may not be possible in Chiang Mai, and it's the same thing the other way around. All right. Regarding the immigration, there has been some change about the process that makes things a bit more, slower. But overall, it's still the same thing. We are still able to make appointment and try to make you go through that process as quick and convenient as possible. So for the visa renewal, there is technically no real problem. About the travel, I know maybe you heard about that they were trying to implement the pass again at some point. That had to do with some problem with like Chinese people coming into the country with their own visa and everything. So now that China opens up for travel again for their Chinese citizens, they were trying to copy what other countries have done, like Australia, like impose a negative test for Chinese traveling to Australia. They tried that, and in order to don't offense the Chinese, they tried to implement it to everyone. That was a mess. Next day they changed their minds. So right now everybody can come on a tourist visa or any type of visa that you have There is no pass required, there is no insurance required or things like that. There may be insurance requirements for certain type of visa that you applied for from the embassy before you come to Thailand, right? But that didn't change. And last thing I'm gonna say is that for some of you who live like south of Chiang Mai or like in the Hongdong area, Assistai Visa now has opened a new office. So if it's more convenient for you to go there for your 90-day, they can offer all the same services that we do. So if it's more convenient, I will be sharing the location with you if you want to see me afterward. All right? That's all for me.
There's been a few people who, on forums, they need a certificate of residence for changing their bike or getting a bank account or other things like that. And they live in Chiang Mai and they get their visas outside of Chiang Mai, and they go into Chiang Mai and say, I want a certificate of residence, and Chiang Mai says, but you don't live here, or they want to do a 90-day report here, or a TM30. So some of these visas you get from other provinces may not be the best visas to get. That's true, isn't it?
For the 90-day report, there is no problem, as long as you have your TM30 from Chiang Mai, from your residence. For the residence certificate, yeah, it's true at the moment, it's a bit more, it's complicated to get the residence certificate if your visa is not from Chiang Mai. But we are working on finding a way around this. Yeah.
Yes, Bruce Weninger. I read recently, it might even have been in an expatriate club newsletter, that there was a new type of retirement visa good for 10 years, costing something like $1,500, and that it would not require re-entry permits every time you left the country and came back. Can you tell us a little bit about the status of that new retirement system?
Yeah, so that this new visa, I think they started to allow people to apply for it around October or November. It's called the LTR. It's the long-term resident visa. You can apply based on different, like you have different possibilities, but retirement is one of them. So it's a 10-year visa where you apply online. It's handled by the BOI, so it's different than the regular like local immigration. It's all handled by the BOI, the Board of Investment, and yeah, I talked about this in November already. The reason that I don't really recommend it at the moment is because I'm always a bit skeptic, let's say, about when immigration launch a new type of visa or a new process. I prefer to wait to see how it's going to happen, what they're going to do, because the 10-year visa is true. You don't need a re-entry permit, but I'm trying to understand the visa requires an insurance, but as far as I know, there is no insurance that offer a 10-year contract. So how will you, like every year, will you have to show this again? Will you have to show that you still hold the same assets? Will you still have to show that you have the same income? So in that case, if you need to go every year to do that again, I don't really see the difference between a regular retirement visa. Because you may think, oh, I have a 10-year visa and that's it, I don't have to go there for 10 years. But for me, it seems unfeasible at the moment. So I may be wrong, and I know people are applying and asking for my help to apply for that type of visa, but I would say until a full year has passed, then we will know exactly what are the requirements to keep the visa and keep it over the years.
Leaving the country, giving up your OA, you come back and get an O, what's the total cost of acquiring an O visa?
Well, the O visa, but first there is the cost of the trip, so it really depends where you go. If you just cross the land border, let's say in Laos or Mesai or anywhere around, well, it will cost you that. It depends how you go. And then when you return, like I said, now you get 45 days, and then to reapply for the O, it depends also the agency you're going to use to get the O. So, but the visa cost is around 2,000 baht at the immigration, and then the service you pay for the agents that you're going to use if you use one. And keep in mind that this first steps is a 3 months visa to acquire the non-immigrant O. All right, and then after 3 months, we go again to the immigration to get this time the 1 year visa extension, and that puts you back on your 1 year visa that you renew yearly.
And what's your fee for that?
Sorry?
What's the fee that you charge for that?
For the first procedure, the non-O, it's around 20,000 baht, and for the 1 year renewal, it never changes, 7,785 every year. So yeah, for those of you who are eventually trying to get this done to avoid having to renew the insurance, know that there is a cost to do all this as well.
We understand that they're really enforcing the TM30 update now. Every time you leave home and go to another hotel somewhere in another area, they take your passport. When you come back, you have to enter your TM30 again.
Well, if you leave the country, yes.
No, it's within Thailand.
Within Thailand, the thing is like every time, if you're going to a hotel, a resort, a guest house, things like that, it's mandatory for them to register any foreigner that come to their place. So let's say you go to Phuket to a hotel, they're gonna register you from now. From that time, you're registered in Phuket. So when you come back to Chiang Mai to stay in your private home, if you have to re-register, but you already have a TM30 from Chiang Mai, so it's really just an update. You just need to go to immigration, show them that you are back, and they will just put it in the system. There is technically no documents to show except your old TM30. Now, if you change place, this is even if you don't travel, if you're living in a house and then you move to a different place, you have to do the whole TM30 again because you changed place. So, but if you leave the country, come back and stay at the same place that you were before leaving, then there is nothing to do.
Yeah, I used to go and stay at different places, and I never had to change my TM30, but I was told when I come back, I got to go do a new TM30 now. So.
Well, like I said, the hotels and resorts, they all do it automatically. So when you check in, they're going to ask your passport and they're going to do it. And they will not necessarily give you a receipt for this, but it's done. It's in the system.
May I say that to avoid that, if you have a local driver's license or a pink card, use that. I use that in the country for traveling on both the airplanes and for checking in, and that sort of eliminates that whole passport thing. But of course you have to have either a Thai pink card or a Thai driver's license to do that. That's just my 2 cents.
Or a Thai wife.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
Can I have a Thai husband?
Any other questions? All right then. Thank you.
Thank you.